Hey, how's it going? The question is, do you mind sharing if your guys have a specific stopping time? Currently, I'm paying my crews by the day, but I'm running into the issue of them wanting to stop at 6 p.m., even though the schedule isn't completed. Granted, there are a number of days that they finish early, and of course, there are no issues on those days. The criers are mainly the supervisors. Before I pulled the trigger on the supervisor, I wanted to get your feedback. You are thinking about this correctly. So the language that you want to use inside your organization, whether it be around your office team, whether it be around supervisors, whether it be around crew leaders, team members, it doesn't matter. We are a company of we're going to get it done. If we commit to it, we're going to get it done. If the client wants an estimate, we're going to get them an estimate today or tomorrow. It's going to happen very quickly. If they call, we're going to call them back today. If they email, we're going to get them an email back today, unless it's the very end of the day or that email can work or can wait. So when you have that attitude as a culture in an organization, it doesn't mean everybody's like, oh, I get it now. That's what I want to do. Like, you're still going to have whiners and criers. That's normal. And some of those people won't be able to stay on your team long term. And that's an especially difficult position to be in right now when the economy is booming as it is and there are so few people to hire. But that has to be the attitude. And when that's the attitude, that's the language around everything. Now, it's on you from a scheduling standpoint, or your operations manager from a scheduling standpoint, to not overbook the day or overpromise. So there's a balance here. If at the office level, at the sales level, you're overpromising to the client and then you're making the crews clean up the mess, that's your fault. You got to fix that part of the equation. But if it's that, hey, we have a lot of work to do and some days we get done at 4 and some days we get done at 7, suck it up. That's what we do as a company. Our job is to take care of the client. That's how it works. This attitude that's so pervasive in the industry of, well, if I don't get it done, I'll just do it tomorrow, is exactly why companies don't get big. No client says, oh, I'm thrilled with the company. It just kind of shows up when they want to, or puts off my work, or doesn't communicate with me when it rains, or they run into a problem on the project. Buyers don't want that. They don't want to work with companies like that. And as soon as they figure out they have an alternative option, they go elsewhere. And so you must have an internal conversation of the why we operate this way. Now, if the supervisor is the problem, then the supervisor has to go. It's really common that individuals inside an organization, whether they're working, interfacing with a client and don't want to have hard conversations, whether they are doing the work in the field and they're just kind of tired of doing that work, it's pervasive in that people think if they can move to a manager or a supervisor role, their life should be better and easier. It's nonsense. If you want to get paid, you get paid to solve problems. You get paid to have the hard conversations. You get paid to work the time and be the example. That is what a supervisor or manager is. The idea that it's an escape from a different position that you don't want to be doing because you don't like that job or you feel like you're having to work too hard and a management role would be easier, that's silly. They don't have any place inside your business if that's their attitude. And so if that's the supervisor's attitude, because that person is the leader and the example, and if they don't want to be that, then they don't get to have a spot inside your organization. Let them go work for your competitor and drag that company down. That's frankly how you have to think about it. And so my position here would be if that individual's the predominant crier, let them go. It's going to be painful, or start working on your backup plan to bring somebody else in and move them out in time. But your team, a 6 o'clock finish time, come on, that's not that big of a deal. So if the direct question is, do you have a specific stopping time? No, we have a stopping time of when the work gets done. We try to build out a day that's going to give them the hours and potentially, in our case, overtime. And a lot of time, overtime is just built into a daily rate. Or if it's pay for performance, they're getting lots of hours because they want the hours because it's pay for performance. Then we're going to build out a day that's fair where they're not going to be so incredibly exhausted that come Thursday, based on the heat, it's 100 degrees right now. Based on the heat, they can barely continue. We're not going to do that to them, but at the same time, we're going to give them a lot of hours. We're going to give them a full day, and the individuals that want to perform will rise up in the organization, and those that don't, they'll fall out of the organization. And it's back to the game of this industry right now is not about marketing. The game of this industry is not about marketing for clients, it's about marketing for team members. The backlog of team members gives you the confidence to let the losers fall out of your world and promote those that are the winners, that want to do the work, want to get the hours, want to get paid, whatever the case might be. So if you're struggling with, hey, is it unfair to say you're going to work from exactly 7:30 in the morning till 5 every day, and if you have to work till 6, that's unfair and wrong? No, that's how the business works. That's how the vast majority of companies operate. And so don't feel that that's wrong. And you may find that you have some crews that say, hey, give me 10, 12 hours a day, and you might have another crew so like, I'm totally cool with 8 to 9 hours, and you kind of know then that you can direct excess work to the crews that want more hours. Like, that's fine. You don't have to expect everybody to want 60 hours a week, but those that say, I want 40 hours a week, sometimes they're going to, or 45 hours a week, sometimes they're going to get off a little early, and sometimes they're going to work a little longer. It's just like spring versus summer versus the fall season. There is no absolute consistency in outdoor work because the season impacts the speed of growth of the lawn or whatever the case might be, and as a result, it impacts how long it takes to perform the work. That's just the nature of the business. You chose to be in this business. That's how it works. And sometimes when it rains, it takes longer to mow a lawn. When it rains, it takes longer to trim bushes. When it rains, you have to wait to do your fertilization weed control app. That's a bummer. We all live in that world. It might extend your day, but there will be other days that it all goes in your favor. And on average, it's going to work out to be fair. And at the end of the day, you're also getting paid for all that time. So that's how I'd approach it. Have confidence that a specific stopping time is absurd. It just doesn't work that way. Not in outdoor work, not in services where there's lots of variables and you just don't know exactly what to expect.